Welcome back, everybody. Alright, so today we're going to talk about approvals. There's several different ways to do approvals. You can do it through Automate, you can do it through SharePoint, or you can do it through Power Apps. I like Power Apps the best because it seems to have the most control over the process, where you're pretty much victim to the other methods and what they're pre-programmed to do. There's no customization. I like to customize myself. So back to our list, or back to our application here. This button right here will go to the approval screen. Now we're going to make another screen, an actual screen, not a bunch of containers like we have here. Okay, so but just before we get into that, I want to show you that I got thinking about something. I wanted to make it so you can modify this stuff. Okay, you basically do it the same way as the other screen, except so what I did is on the edit screen, I added an extra tab called Supply Start Info. I moved everything from requester info over to it. So as you can see here, okay, this should not be on here. I just noticed that. Alright, so we're gonna fix this real quick while we're here. That should be 1. Nope, G2, not 1. Okay. Oh, I know what I did. I forgot to move all these back to, okay, so we're going to grab, copy, last name, first name, email address, work phone, employee ID. Okay, we're going to go to visible. I guess I never set these, so let's do that real quick. Oh, department needs to do that too, doesn't it? Oops. Need the whole card, not just. There we go. That looks better. Oh, I need the requester name too. Glad I did this because I didn't notice this before. Alright, so we got supply start, work phone, justification. Actually, I think I need the required date. There's 2 of them, right? Which one's this one? This one is required date, data card 1. This is required date, data card 2. Okay. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to take this one, put it back on 2. That is the supply starting thing. Okay. Go to supply starting. Grab this. We're going to put it right here. And I'm going to move this. Cost, make the width 100. There we go, now it looks right. So we're going to start supply, like this, get this, and go like this. Okay, that looks right. Go ahead and save it. So, when you change this name up here, it's going to filter down to these five things here, and of course these 2 save off patches, and these are just for display, but it writes it to SharePoint as soon as you change it. Alright, so let's go back to, you'll also notice I put some navigation in here last night. So that way I didn't have to mess with it. Navigation's easy. We're just closing all the variables, putting falses in there. Alright, so we're going to start with our approvals now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close up all this stuff here. Whoops, I didn't want to do that much. Just close this up. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new screen. We're going to make it blank. And we're going to call it approvals. Okay, and then we'll close this screen up. Now the approval screen has a few things on it that we're going to keep, and then we're going to put containers in the middle for the different sections. Okay. Like I mentioned in the last video, we're going to have like 6 different places for approvals. Okay. In reality, there's like 13 or 14, but I'm going to streamline it. All right. So across the top, we're going to have this, and down at the bottom, we're going to have this, and in between is our container. So if you look, see if I can get the container to pop up. Oh, I guess that is the container. Oh, I see. Okay, this bar right here is on the screen, and so is this status. Everything else is in the container. Okay. So if you look up here, that's the whole entire screen, which is everything we have up. And then we got different things in here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a label. And really large. Okay. Start with the label. Structure cost. Okay. We're going to call this whatever the status is. Okay. So we're going to go delete all that. Gallery 1 dot selected dot status. And then, of course, we're going to make it bigger. We're going to bold it. We're going to center it. We're going to set it to blue. Well, this one's a different color, so we're going to make it orange. And then the color will be black. Okay? Then we're going to put some navigation in here. Okay? What I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some, I'm going to take the label itself, and on select, I'm going to have it refresh the data source in case they want to refresh it. Okay. Next thing I want to put in there is I want to put a button in to get out. Okay, and take me back to the home screen. So, I'm going to go home. Right there. On select. Since we're on a screen, we're going to do navigate. Main. Comma. Fade. Close it. Alright. And then down at the bottom, I'm probably going to put another label with this. Even though that's, that's kind of redundant, isn't it? I'm not going to put the status at the bottom. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the container. Okay? So in here, we're going to go, now we can put save buttons and all this other stuff. I'm not going to do that, because what I'm going to do is every time we save something, I'm going to save it when it changes on the field. Okay? Kind of like we've been doing with the other stuff. So I'm going to come down here to layout. I'm going to insert a container. Now we're going to grab the container, put it the size of this window. Okay? We're going to call this container Supply Sergeant. And inside this container, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in, I put a back button on here, but I don't know what for. Oh, I know, I put a title in there, okay. So I'm going to put another label in here inside the container. Make it the width of the container. And we're going to call this Supply Sergeant Notes. And then we're going to make it 20, bold it, white, background color, maybe green. So let's make our background load black so that way it's easy to see. And then we're going to center it. Okay, these are supply side notes. So we're going to put in some fields. Okay, so this one's going to be a custom field. Custom form, I mean. First one is going to be the document number. It didn't copy. Okay. I'm just going to copy the labels, it'll be faster. Okay. Okay. So basically we're going to have data for each one of these. Alright, so the first one's going to be a text field. Okay. So we're going to go insert a text input. We're going to put it right here. And we're going to open it up a little bit. Take the input out so it's blank. Next is called Local Purchase Authorization. Okay. This is going to be a radio button type of setup because we want to only have one item in there, right? Now as you see by default, it stacks them vertically. We don't want it to stack vertically. We want it stored horizontally. So you're going to go layout and change this to horizontal. And now it's left to right. And we're going to open it up. Now, as you can see, this size is real large. Okay, so video size, we're going to take it down to like 25. Okay? We don't want it that big. So I'll make it a little, okay. So now it fits in the thing. Now we got to put our items in, right? So I'll grab the ones from my app so I don't have to retype it. Go to items. And this is just like a gallery or anything else. It's got, create a table with a bunch of items in it. Okay? And then for the default, I'm going to set the very first item as a default. So I'm going to do this. I'll grab my first item. Put it in there. So it automatically selects it. Okay. And then the next two are text inputs. So let's grab a couple more text inputs. Open it up. Get rid of the text input. Copy and paste it so I don't have to do it again. And then the card holder name is going to be a combo box people picker, right? Okay, so we got that in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to insert a combo box. So we're going to input combo box. We're going to drop it in here. And then we're going to go ahead and put the items in there. So it's if self.search text. if is blank, self.search text, Office 365 users, user profile, self.search text. Okay. And then, of course, you want our default to be set to whichever field these are, right? Okay, but we'll get to that at the end there. We can pull the data in. So there's that part. So this is where we fill in the stuff. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to patch this stuff in. So we'll go to on change. Okay. We're going to do patch supply request gallery 1 dot selected. And this is going to be doc specifying document number self dot text, and then we're going to close it up. Let's go ahead and copy. Alright, let's do here on select. It'd be faster to do it this way. Okay, so we want to get rid of this. This is going to be our local purchase authorization. Now, since you're selecting stuff, you got to use selected here. Dot value. Okay. And then this one is going to be like the first one. So go on change, paste. This one's going to be info self.text. And then this one is going to be one's going to be our card holder. I guess it is our email. Okay. I thought there was a display name there too, but that's okay. All you need is your email really, because you can pull everything off the email. So it's the combo box, so it's selected dot mail. Okay. Now it saves. Now we got to set the default values if it already exists, right? So you're going to come in here, the first one. You're going to go back to default, and this one is going to be gallery 1 dot selected dot document number. Now, everything's going to be the same except for the last part. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to go here. Go to defaults. And we're going to go if is blank dot period was already there. So if it says is blank, color one selected dot that, isn't blank, gallery window selected, local, purchase auth, and then we close it. Okay? Obviously it's blank. Because if I go like this, wait, if you want to check your conditions, just select the whole thing. It tells you true or false. So if it has something in it, it's going to say false, but if it has doesn't have something in it, it'll say true. Okay? Now for this default, it's just going to be $1.selected, total number. I don't think anything's in any of these, so it's coming up blank for every one of them. The card holder name. We're looking for default selected items. Right here. Now remember, this is supposed to come back as a record, so we're going to go value self dot, or wait, gallery one dot selected dot cardholder email. Now that'll bring back the email address. We want a name, right? So we're going to go Office 365 users dot user profile. No. Gallery 1 dot selected dot cardholder email dot display name. It's saying object because there's nothing there. Okay. And that's it for this one. Now we got to do some kind of validation, right? So what I do is I make a place where you either sign or you don't sign. It's just electronic signature. This is not a digital signature. It's an electronic signature. It's just a way of putting stuff on there, and then once it's there, it's there. Okay, and it signs off on it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put another label in here. So we're going to text label. Make it this whole thing. And then I'm going to set the alignment to top because I want this to be, this is going to be a notice of some sort, so it's going to be more than one line. So and it's like a little disclaimer thing. Let's go center, we'll do 20. Let's do left for right now. Oh, I see what's going on here. And then we'll center this. And then I want to put the background to a different color. I'll try to do that. So it stands out. Let's extend these to the ends. Okay, this is like a disclaimer here. It says, I have reviewed the request and these items are either not available in the Army supply system or estimated ship date is unacceptable, include canceled document numbers if applicable. Okay? And then you come down here, you're going to set a text label, and we're going to put whoever the signer is. Okay? Since this is a supply sergeant, we're going to put supply sergeant name. Okay. And then we're going to have another label right after it. It's going to be blank for right now until we hit sign. Okay. And then we're going to go over here. And this is going to be the date it was signed. This is going to be a similar one. Except I'm going to make it a little shorter. Okay. Now for our signatures. Whoever we selected for our supply sergeant is we're going to need to put in there. So what we do normally is we put the name of the person and then their EDI number after, or their employee ID number after it, and then for the date you put, you know, current date, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up this command like this, okay? But we're going to have to put in an icon because we need an action item of some sort. So let's remember what it's called. I'm looking for something that looks like this, but it's more angled. Just don't remember what it's called. There's a faster way of doing it than this. So I can put one in here. Come over to the right side here, and it's more organized. So there's an icon in here. I just don't remember the name of it. I'll know when I see it. Where is it? looks like a side flip, like a 45-degree angle pen. Oh, there it is, draw. Just can't remember the name of it. Alright, so make it a little smaller, I'll put it right over here. And what it's going to do is just, we need a pen there to signify what we want pulled. So we need the EDI number for that supply sergeant name. So what we're going to do is we're going to go set our supply sergeant employee ID. And then we're going to go get run encode URL lower, and then we're going to go gallery 1 dot selected dot supply sergeant name. Needs to be an email address. Okay. So let's see what I called it in my other app. Oh, okay. I remember what I did now. Now, this person signing this may not necessarily be the person you put in supply sergeant, okay? They may be able to sign for the supply sergeant, who knows? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the current user that's logged in. So we're going to change this to user function dot email, and then close it up, empid, and then close it. Okay, and then we're, instead of using the supply sergeant name here, we're going to go proper user full name, close it, and then we're going to put SSID and EMPID. Okay, and then, so nothing gets there prematurely, we're going to go to the visible command of this field and say is blank var SSEPID, and close it. So now, in order for something to be here, you have to hit the center button here. Okay. See how it pops up? And then just to add a little pizzazz to it, we're going to put a border around it so it looks like an actual field. I'm going to put it in there so it looks lined up. Now the other thing I want to do here is I'm going to put today's date here, but I want it a certain way. So we're going to go date value. Now close it. I don't want a date and time, I just want a date. I don't care about the time. And then that's how it's going to load it. And then on the on change for each of these, I'll select on change. Okay, so I have to do it on here. There's no, it's a label, so it's not on change. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do our patch statement these two fields right here. So we're going to patch, supply, requests, gallery 1.selected, and then we're going to go splash signature name is going to be, I'm not going to bother changing them, label 22. Not text. And then date will be label 21_1. And then we're going to close it out. Okay, so when we click that button, it will populate these names here, and it will automatically save them to SharePoint. So we need to set the visible on here. It's only there with the EDI number being pulled. So same thing is blank SS EMPID close. So as long as the EMPID is there, then we're good to go. Now it looks good. Now I'm going to, since we got a little space, I'm going to move this down here. Move this one right here. And then I'm going to put this button in there. I just copied it from my app. I don't feel like retrieving it. Okay. Now literally all this is going to do is just close the window. It says save, but we're not doing all that. But we are going to clear all these. No, we don't need to clear them. Okay, so this patch, see, this did a patch on the button, but I'm not going to do that. It doesn't need to do it. I already did it. Okay, so this variable I'm going to use. Then I'm going to navigate back to main. We're going to fade it. Okay. So now I'm going to grab this whole statement here, because I'm going to need it later. Okay. We're going to grab the whole container, get it visible. I'm going to set the container, so that has to be true. And then on the, there's one other screen we gotta make, which we'll just make it into a container, it's fine. And it'll take you here, okay? So, let's go back to main, let's go back to the home, and we're going to build another screen called, it's going to be our flow chart, or where you want to go, okay? So we're going to come in here, go down to layout, go to container, we're going to make it the whole screen like we've been doing, change the color to like light green, and insert a label, call this called the approval process flowchart. So let's go ahead and set our label up like we've been doing. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop a bunch of buttons in here. I'll just vertically stack them, I guess. So this first one is obviously going to be your supply sergeant, right? Okay. And then on select, well, I still got it in the queue. We're going to set supply sergeant notes to true. Okay. And the other one we got to put in there is navigate approvals. Okay. We got to put both of them in there because we're on the main screen. In order to see our containers on our other screen, we got to be on that screen. Well, he's ready. So we got that one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this 5 more times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to put them on here. Hopefully they're fairly even. I'm just guessing here. That looks good. Alright, now they all say the same thing. So what we're going to do next is we're going to rename these to the proper things. So it goes supply sergeant. Then we'll do this one will be actually we're just going to call it supply. I was trying to keep this stuff demilitarized as much as possible. So we got goes our supply, and it goes to, I got this all mapped out. Hold on, let me check my notebook again. I'm breaking away from my app on this. Okay, so we did this, I think we did supply out of order. The first one should have been the supervisor. So we're going to put him right here. So we'll go supervisor. Then it goes to logistics, which is here. Okay, which is supply. And then we'll go to finance next. Really hard to see with that mouse there. Okay. Now let's put these in order so it doesn't look funny. Actually, we're going to need 7. Think about it. I need to make a screen where the requester signs too, because they got to validate their purchase, right? So we'll go requester. So it goes requester, supervisor, supply, finance, and then finance is contracting. And then we'll put supply orders items, requester receives items. Okay, so now there's our flowchart, right? So now I'm going to put in some extra graphics, if you will. So we're going to go insert down. Obviously, I'm going to make this a little smaller. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 5 more. I'm pretty sure it's going to be too big. Okay. What size is that? 31? Whoops, not what I'm trying to do. Doing this the hard way. Alright, so drop down. So it shows a kind of a general progression. Okay, now we're in order. Alright, so goes from requester to supervisor, supervisor to supply, supply to finance, finance to contracting, contracting to supply to order. And then once it comes in, it goes back to the requester and the process is complete. Okay, so we're going to have to make all these screens and we'll go from there. So before you can fill in these buttons, you've got to create your screens, and then you can know what variables to put in here for your first variable. Okay, the second one's going to stay the same no matter what, but this is going to change for every one of them. It's going to be different on every one. So I'm going to pause the video here so we don't make it incredibly long, and I'm going to go ahead and create all these things the same way I did the first one, and then when I'm done, I'll come back. Okay, I have gone through and set up all the screens and then all the things to make it work, the approval part work correctly. So here we are back at the main screen, and I added a few items just to make sure the process worked right. And as you can see, I completed 2 of them, or 3 of them, and the 4th one I left at awaiting supervisor. Remember, let's just recap, right? So when we hit the plus sign, you fill out this form, and it creates the initial request. And don't ask me why I got multiple home buttons here. I just it just showed up that way. And then it'll come back here and it'll say awaiting files, right? Which one thing I did do here. Let's start a new one just so I can show you. So when you enter, you go in here and you enter an item. Okay. I'm just going to fill everything. I don't got no requirements on anything now, keep in mind, okay? So, in theory, this button right here would not be available until everything's filled in. Okay, yeah, granted, most of the stuff gets filled in automatically, but you still want everything filled in, right? So you want to put a rule, in your display mode, you're going to set this one so that way every one of these fields is filled in before it'll let you do this, right? So we create our initial request. Wait about 10 seconds so it's time to finish writing. Refresh your data source by clicking on the title, which we set up earlier. Okay, it says awaiting files. You notice that this approver button is not available. Okay, that's because the requester still has one more step to go. He has to go to the edit screen and add all his content and sign off on saying, yes, this is what I intend to submit. Okay, so we're going to go in the edit button, come in here, and you're going to go through each one of these tabs and you're going to fill in all the information. Okay, and in theory, everything would need to be filled in before this button becomes available, but I did not set that up. That's something you can do on your own. It's not that hard to do. You're just going to go in your display. Here, let's switch to my edit side, and I'll show you what I did. All right, like for this one here, see how some of these are grayed out and some of these aren't? It's the same theory, okay? So you go in here, you're going to go to your display mode up here. Remember, you don't want to hide the button. You want to just gray it out. So that's where display mode does that. So we open it up, and you're going to use the is blank or not is blank functions to determine whether it's editable or not. Edit makes it blue. Disabled makes it gray. When it's gray, it won't let you click on it. So it's better to use the exclamation point is blank, because that means not blank. So it needs something filled in, and you just put the control in there, and you either use the and or the or operators to get what you want. So you go, like if you want, field 1, 2, and 3 to be filled in before it comes available, you're going to go exclamation is blank, field 1, apparand, and then right after that you're going to go same thing with 2 and 3, and then if all 3 are all filled in, then it'll be edit. Otherwise it's disabled until that happens. That's how you got to do. All right, so just a quick thing on there. Okay, so let's go back to our thing here. So you're gonna go through supply sergeant, source supply. You put in here what items you want. Now, since there's no first row, you go add first row. It disappears. There's your first row. You start filling in stuff. Now, when you do it the method I did it, where you patch after every one, you got to click in twice. Okay, so like say you're ordering a pencil here, right? When you click into NSN, you'll notice that the cursor disappears. You have to click it a second time to bring it back in, because what it's doing when you click off of it, it's probably better to do it this way. Click down, let it save, come up here, and then you can put your stuff in. Okay, so click down, give it a second, click back, and now it works. If you click the field to field, you're going to end up clicking in each one twice. So let's go ahead and finish filling this in. So you got to click twice in order to make it work. So I know this ain't what pencils cost, but we'll say it's $3.99. All right. For some reason, I got a bug in mine. For some reason, the first time it doesn't calculate. So if you go like this, it'll recalculate. It's like the first time it doesn't work. I don't know what's going on with it, but it works for the most part. And you see it gives me a grand total over here of the line, and then down here it gives you a grand total of everything that's on the screen. Okay. Now, additional questions, as we talked about yesterday, we got different ways of uploading files, for each of these things. And then if you just got general documents, you come over here and do it. But they're all the same process. When you hit add files, you upload them and you hit save. And depending on where you're uploading them from, it will put that little tag in front, right? So let's go back to the home screen real quick. Let's go to a completed one so I can show you. See these, remember the paperclip means there's files in it, right? So let's go to this one. As you can see, I did DSOR quotes, MFR, capers, and general. I did every single one of them just so you can see all of them. Okay, once you do that, let's go back to the home screen again. Let's do this one. All right, so you click here for file submission. Okay, so basically once you fill that out, you're going to go through here, and for some reason my sign button isn't there. Curious. It's been working the whole time. Okay, I did a few refreshes and now it's there. Alright, so you're going to click the pencil, and it's going to pull in your full name. That's on Azure. your employee ID number and today's date. You're going to hit save and return to start. Okay. When it comes back, you'll notice that the check mark is there. And now you can go through the approval process because you notice it says awaiting supervisor. Okay. Now this is the approval process, and on the left side you'll see the current status of your thing. Now keep in mind, if it's down to contracting and supply wants to change something on theirs, they can. It ain't going to affect nothing because it won't let them unsign it, but it will let them change some data if it needs to be. Okay. So we'll go to supervisor. Now, and earlier I showed you how to do this one, but the rest of them are basically the same. All right, so when you go through the supervisor, you put your notes in here. If you choose to, it's not required. He goes and signs. When he signs, it does the same thing. And down here, it will change the status once he saves it. Okay, it'll go to the next step because he approved it by doing this. Okay, so you hit save and return. When you hit save, you notice it says awaiting supply. Now when you go back into the approval process, you'll notice that the supply button is now available where supervisor is as well. Okay, so you go to supply, fill in your information you want to here. Put your card holder name in there if you want to. You're going to sign and save and return. You'll see now it says awaiting finance. And you're going to go through the whole process like this. But you'll notice each screen is different. Like this one here, for instance, is available through other ordering systems. If you hit yes, you can put which system's over here. If you say no, it doesn't show up. You can make it interactive based off of, these fields are basing their visibility on if it's yes or no. You sign it, and your turn to start. Now keep in mind, each one of these screens got their own dedicated fields to them. Okay, we're not signing over the same field over and over. Okay. Now it says awaiting contracting, so we go here. Now we got supervisor, supply, finance, and contracting. I also set it up so the arrows turn green once a step has been completed. Okay. See, it's in between finance and contracting now. Since it's contracting hasn't signed off on it yet, that step is not complete. Okay, once contracting signs off on it, then this will turn green. So we go in here, you got your notes, you hit the pencil to sign it, and you hit save and return to start. Okay, now it says awaiting supply to order. Okay, so you notice this turned green because between these two steps it's been completed, but these two have not. So now he goes in here and he says, okay, I sent the order with order number, whatever, right? And then he just puts his thing in here and he signs it and saves it. That lets the requester know that, hey, it's been ordered. And then he just got to wait for the supply sergeant or whoever the logistics person is to let them know that the stuff came in and they come pick it up. Now what I did is I added a little thing on the requester one, so when they go to pick up their items, it gives you a list of everything they did. Okay, and if they acknowledge receipt, they're going to check the box. Come on. It wants to be stupid sometimes. Okay, now it says that he accepts he got it, and then once he signs this, it completes the process. Okay, until he gets everything, he doesn't need to sign it. Okay, once he gets everything, he signs it, hit save and return to start, and you'll notice now it says completed, and that completes the process of the whole thing. Now you'll notice since I didn't upload any files, there's no check mark over here, or no paperclip. So let's go ahead and just make sure that works. So we're gonna add a DSOR. Okay, attach a file. We'll just put this on here. Save files. Okay, as we can see, there's a file there now. Now if we go back to home, you'll see that there's the paperclip showed up. I went back to awaiting final requester. Interesting. Okay, we'll just go here. Yeah, let's go back to the process again. As you can see, it doesn't take long. It's just a matter of just click, 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 right? Actually, you don't have to go through the whole thing. We just gotta go to the bottom and hit save. And now it's completed again. Now, if someone tries to go back in there and adjust the something in here, it won't let them because it's all grayed out because it's marked completed. Now, one thing I can do to prevent what I just did happen is this button down here. Once you sign it, I can make this grayed out so you can't click it again. For some reason, when I added the file, it put it back in waiting the requester to be, to acknowledge the submission. But, it's a bug. But you see, it does work. So, any questions or comments, put them below. And I hope you enjoyed walking through this process with me so I can show you how to do it. Have a great day.